What up, everybody? It's your crew from the Double S Club here. You got your boy Andrew, aka Lord 905,
Know what it is?
and we got the lovely Lexi. Say what up, girl.
Hey, hey, hey.
And your boy Rohan, mr.romarkable. We're here, and we're going to review some content today. Um, I guess you can say it's us reviewing on the evolution of the changing of gender roles, how people perceive the rules and regulations of the courtship and the dating, but just general opinions, I guess. It's just, you know, what how things are changing. So we're just gonna jump into the video, do the commentary accordingly, and go from there. So let's get it started.
Now, what if your man would have said, "I'm not comfortable with that"? Because some men watching right now be like, "Nah, I can't do that. I can't. No, I gotta pay for it. So since I can't pay for it, we're not going." How would you respond to that, honestly?
I would have said that's not fair.
So this is a clip from Anthony O'Neill, predominant YouTuber, just reviewing in regards to the dating experience that he had. So figure we give him a little shout out since we're
Yeah. Shout out to
borrowing his
Anthony
content.
Nino for real. Always doing some dope ass content and actually pushing the culture and the conversation forward.
Yeah, but it's a good point because it thinks people need a. If you don't know, you should know, and if you do know, then you should discuss because it's important.
True.
So let's continue.
Cherry, what's going on, sis? How are you today?
I'm excited. I woke up all happy. I'm not a morning person, right?
You're not?
But when you text me this morning and you were like, let's go, I was like, I'm ready.
um, but about a couple of weeks ago, you hit me up on IG.
Yes.
And you was, ripping and raving about one videos that I put out about how I got declined by a young lady to go out on another date because pretty much, I'm on a budget. I'm a money guy. Everyone knows that about me. I budget.
Don't even say that you got declined. She declined herself.
But I did get declined, though, because she pretty much said, she didn't say nothing. Let's put it like that. When I told her, no, we can't go to the second date, only because I just wanted to budget it in for the next month, and I didn't have it budgeted in for this particular month, she was tripping. So on your show, I did your podcast, and for those of you all watching right now, please go check out her podcast. We'll put the link below so you can check it out. But I went on your show, and we talked about it, but then you flipped it on me. You agreed with me when all the other females did not agree with me. They were like, yo, you probably should have said that a little bit better, or you probably should have approached it differently. So I got to ask you on the show. You're a successful woman, make good money. What should I have done differently from your perspective, if I should have done anything differently?
You shouldn't have had done anything. Okay, so I hit Anthony up.
Okay, so
Pause. Yeah.
that's her opinion. What's our opinion? And really, I'm just asking your opinion, Lexi, because our opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah, our opinion doesn't matter. So we already know what we feel.
I actually agree with her. I agree with, I see what they're both trying to say. But the fact that he said, oh, what if your man said, no, we're not going if I can't pay, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of, if I would, he asked her, what would you say? For me, I would say, no, let's still go. Don't worry. I got it. I get it. It's going to make a guy feel emasculated in some sense. Cause he was saying there's guys out there that hands down just don't, regardless, they want to be able to pay.
Mm-hmm.
They don't, but sometimes I would say in cases like that, where it's you don't got it, at least let her get it. It's not like we're going to be doing it 24/7 to make you feel like you don't have anything. It's just that one time. You know what I'm saying?
Now taking consideration based off of his experience, we haven't gone in deep yet, right? I haven't even watched the whole video. I pretty much got this far, and I'm like, this is a great topic.
But I can give you a recap because there's a lot of other stuff that.
We'll get there. So but the point that he's making is he's saying he just advised her that, hey, I ain't got the money like that. I'm not saying no to us getting together if you want to just grab coffee or do something low key, but I can't do such, right? So I don't know if they're going to disclose what X is. But just the simple fact that he's saying, I said, no, I don't have the budget for that this month. She was just like, all right, swipe, right? She just
She
was
clocked
just
it.
like,
She clocked
right. So it's kind of like that's where the question is coming from. Because you're right, Lexi. Some men, most men, not only by social conditioning but general pride, want to be able to say, "Hey, I got the money like that to be able to spend for me and mine." So when you come up short, it does make you feel away. Like no matter how financial responsible or budget conscious you're trying to be, that's where it is, and that's part of the game for a lot of guys who are trying to get it. Like I know that's my mentality in regards to like when it comes to dating. I know women invest in a lot of upkeep and making themselves approachable. And I already know that women spend a lot. Like we can talk about the girl tax and how things are like triple the price, skincare, all that sort of stuff for ladies, and what you guys in a sense invest in order to keep a certain standard of like um, I was gonna say beauty, but just a certain image because beauty
just
is
image.
sub yeah
Yeah.
is subjective, right?
Image, yeah.
Right. So, like, I get that, but on the flip side, and most women don't take in consider. I'm gonna say um, most women overlook the fact that when it comes to a man being single, our upkeep is making sure that we have enough bread set aside to court said woman, right?
Yeah.
So that's where our surplus goes towards our ability and capacity to be able to entertain not only ourselves but someone else because the social expectation is that the man should pay, right?
Yeah.
Socially roles that we've all been defined by since the end of time.
Right. So it's definitely like mind blowing when you have conscious and like I can see why you relate to that because you're a woman, very independent, very strong. Your structure is not only just based off of desire, but you definitely understand the work and ethic in order to get what you're looking for. So this conversation isn't foreign to you, but how he's presenting it is that a lot of women in his DM and just part of his ring of
No,
people,
he said
just
all the
whatever.
women except for her.
Yeah, well, yeah, because the majority of them are going to be like, hey, that's your job. Like most women will
No,
come and say, hey, you're dating me. Like what I bring to the table is this as a woman, so you're investing in this, and it's kind of like some guys will understand and align with that, and they'll do it either because whether or not they're a simp or an alpha male or everything in between. There's a certain expectation. Like not every guy knows that they're not going to be successful dating on expecting the woman to pay for stuff. Period.
Yeah.
Right? Like they might help every now and again, even if they make more money than you. They might, be like, all right,
Pitch
cool.
in.
Right, but I'm not gonna sit here and be all of that too. Like no woman's gonna sit here and be like, I'm the thing that you chase, but at the same token, I'm making this happen. That's just an oxymoron. Unless you're like you'd have to be a broke ass Fabio to get away with that kind of stuff.
no, well, no. No, there is circumstances where that happens. You could have the alpha woman who's in a power position in the sense of like corporate. Like no man is gonna make this, like no man she dates unless she's in the corporate world is gonna ever be able to make as much money as she does. So by right, she's gonna take care of her. She makes millions of dollars. She's
Yeah,
not
but
worried about it.
yeah, but that alone is far in between because based
That's what
off
I'm
other
saying. There is
yeah,
caveats for it.
based off of other conversation, blah blah, we know that most women like just like there's the small degree of um top tier men, the high valued males out there, like the high values. There's only a handful of high value women out there, but that's because of the social economical challenges that they go through. It's very rare that you see Fortune 500 top corporate
True.
women, and they deal with their own challenges. So whether or
Yeah.
not they would have to change their game in order to accommodate and make themselves a little bit more accessible, because like you can't you even in doing that, there's still a certain degree of masculinity to it,
Oh
right?
yes, you're right.
Yeah.
certain amount
So
of give that you have to take. Yeah.
right, because for most part, the majority of men, whether or not they have this conversation, they're defined based off of their abilities to do certain things, right? So if you can't do it, it's a personal question of your manhood, right? Like if you can't if you can't support yourself and your family, if you can't keep a roof over your head, if you can't buy the things that your family kind of wants, if you can't do certain things that impacts a man's value, right? And it's a personal aspect, right? Not many women have the conversation on being like, well, if I can't do anything, I think the only, and again, Lexi, pushback, fans, comments, pushback at me if you feel different, but the only time women come to that particular question where they value themselves is in the looks department, but that's socially infused, right? So if you love yourself and you think you're attractive regardless, then that's no. But when you aren't able to procreate, that's one of the main divining things that women are like, I feel less
Yeah.
of a woman because I can't bear children,
Oh, for
right?
sure.
But
That's
Yeah.
a
there's
societal thing, but yeah, you're right.
right, but there's very few questions where women turn around and say, I feel less of a woman because I can't do this specifically.
I think, well, it depends too, because at the same time, there is women out there who don't feel much of a woman if they don't have even a career either. Like
True.
if you're just
Societal,
one of those women that's just sitting on, your ass, like we're gonna feel like we're bum type of woman. Like, because nowadays things change, like times change, or now women actually want to have like a career path. And if
Yeah.
we don't, we start to feel like we have nothing to offer a man either. So we start to feel like we're just little girls, not women. Like we start to feel like we're like not a woman.
I can
That's it.
I can mess with that
That's
theory
interesting.
because you got to think of. I've thought about it this way in the sense of like I was raised by, we all know, by a bunch of strong independent women, and
Yeah.
I've watched this phenomenon play out a bunch of times, and it is true. If you have to get it out the mud, as if you're a woman and you really got to get it out the mud, like your ideas of what you value from a man are completely different. Like how they approach a man may even have to be, like Rohan said, may have to be completely different because they got all the shit that the guy, the suitor, or the person who's coming into that relationship is trying to give them, or is trying to like, shine up the diamond and make them look at. So it's like it's a completely different dynamic. These women, like I said this to my aunt one time, like she hadn't been dating for a while, and it's just because she was taking care of my other aunt. She was just living her life, and they were trying to travel. But I'm like, yo, I made the joke. I'm like, I'm swear to God, I'm gonna auction you two up because you're so high value that it's almost impossible. They're like, oh, what do you mean? How are you gonna get us to date? I'm like, that's the problem. I don't even know anybody in my circle that could date you. Like, I wouldn't trust the guys I know to date you too. No, it's just
But
real. Like,
but
one of
but
them's a.
that speaks to the overarching standardization in regards to it, right? Because not many men are gonna be in that position to be um not necessarily appealing to those women, right? But to be able to, in a sense, compete because, as society puts, um, you know, women, suffice it to say, need to be in a submissive role when it comes to the hierarchy of the relationship, right? When you get an alpha woman in it's already argued that as a result, the male has to be submissive, right? And that changes the dynamic when society is sitting here and saying there always has to be a leader in the relationship,
Yeah.
right? So those anomalies exist because like your aunt and certain people that we know have pushed against that, or at least had their focus on being like, I'm not pursuing a relationship. Most women who are in that position are comfortable enough with themselves to say, I'm not going to define myself based off of a relationship.
That's what I'm saying.
To be
They're
honest with
not
you,
looking at that.
with women like that, not all, I
Mm.
would say one half of them are like that. But the other half, I would say the ones that have their own stuff, they don't need another male to like fill those shoes, even though he can add to the table, if that makes sense. But
Yeah.
I feel like those type of women, I don't feel like I feel like the reason why they're not too worried about the finances part and all that extra stuff is because low key they want the love. when you already have everything you want, to be honest with you, you want just someone to love, because that's the position I'm in. Like, I don't care about that type of stuff. I just want someone to actually love me. So I feel like those women, not all of them are like that, but I think majority of them do just want love, like a partner they can just love
That's a good
and
point.
love
I
them.
think we should get back to the video, but then I think that's a great point to end it in, and we can go back to the video.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's actually awesome. Yeah.
Just so you guys know, I did not know Anthony before a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I hit him up because I had watched this video and I was pissed. First of all, if you ask somebody to go out on a date, the bill is yours. Okay? I don't care who you are, male, female, whatever. So if it was me who would have said, hey, Anthony, I want to go to such and such restaurant. Can we go? This is like our second date. We've already been out before. The bill is mine. Okay? So you as a man,
Wait. As a woman, if you ask me to go on a date, this is our second date. You're telling me that your thought process is, since I asked, I'm gonna pay for it?
yes.
Pause.
And you
Okay, that's the part. Okay, I see both
I already
their
knew.
parts.
I already knew. I already knew. That's why I paused there, right there. I already knew.
I see both of their parts. Here's the thing, because I definitely want to speak on this only because I'm actually going through that situation like now.
Speak on it, girl. Speak on it.
I told my partner the second date I wanna do it. I wanna do it this time. He was like hesitant about it at first, but then he kind of understood my point. Because it's like, okay, look, if you offer to take somebody out on a date or you offer to go somewhere, you should be able to be the one paying for it. You brought it up. Like, I'm okay. That's the thing. Most guys, they'll ask a female out. When they ask a female out, they're paying.
Right.
They're automatically paying. But if a woman does, the first thing a male is thinking is, okay, I don't know if all males are thinking this, but I'm sure some of them are like, okay, I'm sure she's paying.
Most okay, so
No.
most guys like unless you're deadbeat guy, we think that way, and I think Andrew's about to jump on that. Where it's just like
Yeah,
if you came to me, Lexi, and said, "Hey, I would like to go to Baton Rouge for a second date. I heard that place is nice." That's you dropping a suggestion. Right?
Yeah.
So the impression is that that's somewhere you want to go. I'm going to see if I can factor it in. So his response is saying, "Yo, it's not in the budget because I want to be able to kind of drop like a good 2-3 bills on you in regards to the bill." I can see that because it wasn't in his mental to be like, "This is where it is." And it's a question like if you got paper like that, blah blah, then it is what it is. But for the average dude, we kind of have to put those things into perspective.
But
right?
it's kind of different if you say, it's kind of different if the woman says, though, I want to take you out.
Oh, I sincerely, and just because of experience, I am not talking about society. I'm not talking about anything else. I am just going to go from experience here. It's completely different. Because I have been asked out by women. And guess what? At the end of the day, still ended up having fit. You want to know why?
Really?
Because I tested them. Yep, I tested the same phenomenon. I've actually tested it. One time, all right, I'll give you a perfect example. Me and this girl were semi-dating. I wouldn't even call it full dating. She called me out the blue. She's like, "Yo, I got no the dog." She was babysitting her dog all the time. She's like, "I have no dog to watch. My parents are in town. Like, whatever else. We should go to Red Lobster." I'm like, "Cool. I'm kind of busy." Like, she's like, "I'm going anyway. If you want, just meet me there." So I'm thinking to myself, "Cool. Like, this is just her going out for a lunch date. I'm gonna meet her there." So I had something to do. Meet her there. Had a drink at my boy at the bar across the street. Go over, sit down. I think I had like a couple of cheese breads. I ordered a lobster roll, right? Sitting down, and then I'm waiting for the cue for the bill. Because in my head, I already know what happened. Like, I already know. You're inviting me out on a date to basically get me to pay for the situation. So I'm just waiting for this cue. 15 minutes go by, bill gets dropped. Center of the table, right? I don't reach for it. And I could watch the visual scorn on her face for the next 15 minutes of it getting completely uncomfortable. I could watch it. Like, I could see the visceralness in her eye because I didn't reach for the bill. And that was the last date we ever had.
Right.
Because of that factor.
But that's the thing. That's the thing, though. Normally, if a female asks to go out or suggests a place to go out, I would think as a man, I would think, hey, you're paying for yours, I'm paying for mine. Or either you're paying for the whole thing. Because it's either or. because I feel like that's weird that she just like expected you to do that. Like that's rude.
But
Yeah,
but it wasn't just one experience. I've been through that multiple times.
Like as a guy who's still in the dating pool, I see that a lot, right? Like in
Wow.
all honesty, like whether or not I'm picking up a girl on Tinder or any other social or whatever, and I'm meeting up with it, even if it's coffee or whatever, my mind is like I'm gonna be spotting it, right? And it part of it is the gentleman's cue and saying, hey, you know what? I'm gonna not only you know, be cordial and gentlemanly of that. It's also, yeah, I kind of want to floss on somebody a little bit as well, saying I am financially secure in order to support one of these things. And again, it's equivalent, like when it comes to the tit for tat, that the little dance we have, like the money thing in some cases is man's response to you wearing your power dress, right? It's us, our ability to sit here and say we're both putting what we have on our table and what our best features are. Unfortunately, there's a scenario where it's, especially now because the communication is so rapid, it's being exploited and it's creating a negative expectation. Go ahead.
I think that it's also man's only form of control when dating. I think the reason why we cue to this like format of us paying for the date is because here's the thing. A lot of the times you cue your date towards the opposite sex, where she wants to go, what entertains her, what like is the best things that you can afford to keep her on track. And it's the only form of control most males have. So when that control is stripped and that person says, yo, we're going out on a date, she's in total control of that relationship at that point. Or at least at that date.
Whether or not it's simply just control, it's also that kind of thing and saying, you know, you're trying to influence the individual, right?
True.
Like we're conscious that these things happen, but there's the unfortunate thing that's been happening is that the component of exploitation has happened a little bit more than it actually being a true reflection. Because, you know, the two pros, as you and me as men paying and the rest of men paying for something, is actually three. So a certain degree of gentlemanness, then the traditionalism kind of harks back to like opening the door and, you know, putting your coat out over a puddle and that kind of aspect. It's still one
opening
of the
door and doing all that.
Yeah, it's one of the remaining courtship tactics that men have, right? Because a guy can dress up for a date or not dress up for a date. As like 5-star restaurant, you're supposed to dress up.
Yeah.
First date, you can kind of go a little casual, right? Like I've seen guys who will be like, yeah, I'm in my blazer, I'm in my, you know, Pokemon T-shirt, like this all in the spectrum. But
I am dead.
But the women will dictate the date based off of it, right? So if they're really interested in the guy or whatnot, you can definitely see on how they present themselves on the first date.
Yeah.
Right? And that's your
exactly.
and that's your power, right? You could, like, in all honesty, your attire can solidify whatever, right? Like if you're going on a date today and it's in the afternoon, you can be like, oh, I'm wearing my Sunday dress, I'm wearing a flowery dress, I'm wearing jeans, I'm wearing a short skirt, I'm wearing a pinup skirt, I'm wearing no panties. There's so many things that women can kind of do.
There's some options in there
to dictate how this date's gonna go, right? So the men are usually responding when it comes to their finances and how much bread they can do it. But unfortunately, that's something that can be exploited because as a man, right, we can't just be like, oh, well, I'm going to take you out somewhere. And then we can say wear something nice. But if I really want you to wear something easy, that would be a problem. If I really want you to wear something slutty, that's a problem. And I'm not saying that to sound sexist, but like we can't manipulate or influence the scenario like that. But a woman can come in and be like, well, since I'm expecting you to pay for the date, you know, I can be responsible and conscious and be like, you know what, it's cool. We can go to Tim Hortons, we can go to Wendy's, we can go to, like, you know, the Keg or whatever. But you know, there are some girls who will be like, my bottom rung is the Keg. I want to go to this restaurant. I want to go to that restaurant. If they're not bringing me here, if they're not taking me there because I'm exploiting the fact that they're aligning themselves with the gentlemanness, that's problematic, right? And like when guys push back on that aspect, we run into the situation that Anthony's kind of saying, hey, you know what? I was being respectful. I want to entertain you, but within a budget. I'm not going to break the bank, because how does he know? He can sit here and like horse-drawn carriages and a whole bunch of stuff like that and keep dropping buckets of money on someone, and then she's just like, no, I'm bored, and it's out.
Back.
You're not getting you can't go to the government at the end of the year and be like, I spent all this on a bad business venture. They'll be like, nah.
There's no tax statement for dating, my dude. I understand.
So it's like you can't blame a guy for being responsible to be able to balance everything, but it's unfortunate that it's just like, instead of a respectable response, like his guest gets it, you get it, Lexi. But there's a lot of women out there who be like, oh, you're not spending, you're not ready to spend the bread on me? All right, I'm out.
Go back and play the clip. You'll see what happens.
All right.
Paid for our first date, right? So the least I could do is pick up the second tab. I want to see you again. Let this You told the young lady, not I don't want to go out with you, not I won't take you there because you don't deserve to go there. I can't take you now because I'm on a budget, but I can take you next month if that's okay. We can do something else. You didn't even say we can't go on a date till next month. You said we can do something else, but we just can't go there. I was mad at that heifer. I'm glad you didn't go out with that heifer no more, because that is not the one you need in your life.
Bruh, I was dying.
Yes, I called her heifer.
Good.
You are watching this and you want to talk to me personally, hit me up in my inbox, sister. I will call you. We can talk.
She wanted all the smoke, bro. I liked it.
And I appreciate her kind of standing up on that aspect, because not only is it like an important thing, it's just like there has to be setting a standard, because she knows the fallout of women sitting here and saying, yo, that's justifiable. Because there's a lot of girls who are like that. It's not even just dates. It's just spending money on certain things.
I know girls like that. What do you mean?
I do too.
You said it.
But,
you said it earlier in the comments. I know.
It also depends on the type of woman too, because like that's the thing, because like there's some things I agree with but I disagree with, because I'm a different type of woman, you know, like I'm not superficial. Like I don't care to go to expensive restaurants. Like I'm someone where like the best date for me, like I would say camping or doing something different. Not all the time it has to be expensive dinner. Like you could do so many other things. That's where people go left when it comes to dating. There's so many things to do.
Yeah, but that's what we're going to show you. I know girls that won't even give you the chance to get to know them as an experience first off before they get wined and dined. That's what I'm saying. Is that becomes a problem in the dynamic of the relationship. They don't actually see this person as an opportunity. Better way of saying it. They see them as an opportunity until they prove themselves to actually give themselves to this person. All it is like, yeah, I'm going to get the best dinner. I'm going to get the nicest things. I'm going to get taken out to the nicest places. And then if I like him, then I'll get to know him.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay, that makes sense.
It has nothing to do with the social dynamic. It's just they want to take advantage of that situation.
Yeah, no, that's where they go wrong. Like I'll say women go wrong with that. Like at least let the man get to know you so that you can at least be satisfied in the, the area that you want to be satisfied in, especially when it comes to dating.
Right, because it's unfortunate that it's one of those things, right? Like some people don't have the patience to do the long game, so they're not really going on the marathon. It's just a race. Like, and unfortunately, the reason why you're seeing so many manospheres type guys pushing back and asking the infamous, like, what do you bring to the table to the women? It's not because of the fact that they're being dogs. It's because of the fact that we have to remind ourselves as men and also ask the women to take that into conscious, because you're sitting here and saying, like most women are sitting here and saying, court me, show me why you want to be with me, show you your value. And there are many men who will invest in that, right? And the thing is that there's the high value men who can afford to do that, right? Like if I had Drake type money, or like freaking even Donald Trump type money, even
Doesn't
without
matter.
his mitigations, and be able to go and do that sure stuff, you're reinforcing a mentality. So again, it's that desire and saying, hey, I found somebody who can take me out and do all these nice things and in a sense invest in me. And that's what a lot of
Mm-hmm.
these women are putting in regards to their value. If I can go and put myself in that standard where I can attract men to invest in me, make me feel valuable, then that's the standard we're having. But if the men are stuck kind of having to portray that and put money where their mouth is, and in some cases even put money before their mouth, then you don't get into the real relationships until later,
Exactly.
right? And you're
And you
not
got to
really
think about it. And guys, you also got to think about this time. A lot of these high value men or high value women are actually don't necessarily see themselves as like they don't see these people as equal opportunity because they already got everything they want. So
yeah,
think
something to
about it.
do.
You're a high value man now, right? You're dating the average woman. You already thought that she was cute. She already packed all your boxes. So now, why do you need to spend all your money trying to court her? You know you got the bag. You can provide the bag at any time.
No,
You just
but
want
like,
a little walk sometimes.
No, but
Or
that's when you see those high value men or women. They're dating for the actual person's personality, and they're not actually trying to do all of that. The ones I've noticed, the ones that are not broke, but the ones that are average, they do all of that because
no,
they
but I
have something
actually
to prove.
no. You know what I've noticed? I actually noticed that high value people end up dating the same group of people because
well,
they each understand that.
you work with you in your environment, right? So that's a
Yeah.
Exactly.
given, right?
Yeah,
Like,
they just
you,
all end up dating the same group of girls, bro.
right. It's just everything, right? Like, Hollywood, most people, they deal with people in the industry. There's the odd
Yeah.
anomalies when it comes to politics, when it comes to certain sectors. That's a given. That's human nature. That's tribal knowledge. That's whatever, right? But the challenge that's being had by a lot of people is this dynamic right here where it's just like expectations supersede reality, and the
Mhm.
ability to sit there and say, you know what, there's no equilibrium. Like, there are women who are almost demanding that certain things happen in a relationship in
Before we
order for
even
them to
get
get
to
the
the next step.
attention, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because it's just like, honestly, as a woman, there's very little things that women have over men for them to be like, all right, fuck this shit. To be honest
Mm-hmm.
with you, like, what are men really pursuing in a relationship? If you want to be barbaric, we're after the P. You know, um, we'd want a woman who ultimately would be able to bear children for us.
And hold down the
Cook,
fort.
clean,
Yeah,
that
we're
kind of
just
stuff,
knocking down the
or at
bare
least
essentials.
participate in the housework, even if you know how to cook. Some equality in that, and then it goes up. Like, if a woman has paper, she has a job, great. If she
Actually,
has
we're missing the number one and most important step.
what?
Somebody inspire you. That's the
Well,
one thing that you gravitate to the most.
I'm
I
going up the echelon because there's a lot of guys who they'll take a girl whether or not they inspire. That's a desire, right?
True, true,
you
true. I
gotta
see your point.
remember. But again, you gotta remember. Also, it matters about the person at the end of the day, and like what they want in a relationship. Because like, there's some people who just genuinely just want someone to love. They don't care about any other thing. Like, they just care
Well,
about if that person can love them and be happy with them. Like, you
Yeah,
know
but
what I mean?
there's even people out there who don't understand love.
I know
true.
they're
Well, before
superficial.
we
That's that.
digress, let's get back to the video and then we can get back to this discussion.
You really want to watch this video?
No, I just want to make sure
Yo,
we're on point.
listen, listen. I'm thrown off here because I'm like, you're saying something that I've never heard before. I'm just being real. The
Mm-hmm.
young ladies who I pursue, their philosophy is that the man is going to pay for anything. If we go out on
Yeah,
a date,
superficial.
if she suggests that the man should pay for everything, and I ain't gonna lie to you, sis. Like, you my sister, so I can say this. Um, it kind of made me a little insecure because I'm like, not insecure, but it kind of made me feel bad. Like, wow, I told her I was on a budget, so I
Told you.
thought a budget would be like, yo, this is a good man, but she was like, this is a whack man. So
what we're going to do is we're going to shift your aura and shift out the energy that you give. You give good energy. You give provider energy, which is amazing and important. I was taught from my brothers that men have only a few jobs: protect, provide, and profess.
ooh,
Yes.
You
provide,
cover
Mm-hmm.
profess.
and
But
profess.
everything she's saying is exactly what I was trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's why I'm saying we're gonna get into the video because it's gonna speak a lot.
I mean, but we're not here for the video to speak for us. We speak before the video.
You cover all three. Unfortunately, a lot of women they don't have a good example of what love is, okay?
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, we're
thank
done.
you,
We're
thank
done.
you, thank you.
We're done. We're
That-
done with the video.
She said exactly what I
I
was
told you,
basically
my
saying.
dog. I told you.
Nah, she's saying the same thing I was just saying. It's all about love. Like, I don't know. I can't, like, I'm trying to break it down, but it's like everything you guys are saying that most women want when it comes to dating with the whole, oh, like, does he have money? Superficial. Those are superficial women. It's not that easy.
That's who we run into until we
I
find
know,
that
no,
one
but
that loves us.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's the whole point of it. There's people that have everything already in their life that they feel is good enough for them, and all they need is just love. That's all they're missing. Like, I only know that because I'm experiencing it. Like, I'm sure there's other people experiencing it right now too, where like all they want is love. They don't care about what the guy has, how much money he has. They just care about if he can love, provide, and care. Basically, that's it. Like, other than that, everything else is just superficial at that point. You're just in love with their pocket. You're not in love with them.
Right, and
True.
and it's partially because of the fact that they don't define themselves. They don't put these things into perspective. People don't ask these hard questions and being like, "Hey, what do I like about me? What am I willing to put out? What am I willing to give up? What am I willing to put on pause, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?" Those are tough questions, right? So it's just easier for someone to sit here and say, "I'm going by the list. Everybody's saying that these are important things. I'm going to make sure that I can check it off, and if I'm getting all of them, I'm winning. If I'm not, I'm not." Right? Because if everybody had to go by their own playbook, then people wouldn't be able to put things into context. So she makes a good point in regards to a lot of people, especially the women, weren't shown how to love, right?
Nope, not at all.
It's just that like impression that it's just like love is a vulnerability, right? And then like you become submissive and stuff like that. It's just like, yeah, you are a little submissive to your partner, but it's because of the fact that like you're giving too, you're not giving in, right?
It's equal give and take,
right?
Fighting is providing security. Not that you have to go out and fight men for me, but even security for yourself.
Security.
Feeling security for my well-being, security for my mental health, and that's what a lot of these are missing. So we're gonna have energy. We're gonna have you start manifesting and meditating on what it is that you truly want, and get off of Instagram. Stop looking at the
Hold up, sis. I ain't look for no IG models on IG. You know that. Come on, now.
It can't be none of them IG models. We don't want no basketball wives. You know what I'm saying? We don't want no athlete girlfriends. We gonna shift, and I'm not saying that's what he's dating. I'm just teasing.
Right.
But I'm saying we gonna shift what it is that you really want. A lot of times we might ask for the physical sense, but we forget the inner sense that we want.
Yes.
We gonna find inner beauty and outer beauty at the same time.
Yeah, I love
and somebody who really wants a deep connection, not somebody who just wants a bag. This restaurant, that restaurant. We're going to find somebody who has her own, because you need your equal. And it sounds like the ones that you've been dating is not your equal.
It's true.
Because if they were your equal, they're not worried about the restaurant, or they're not worried about picking up the tab.
Thank you.
Because they would do that.
Yo, listen.
They want somebody to eat off of. That's not what you need.
See?
He got so flustered. I love this video because
Buddy.
Like, he's so honest, and it's like it's one of my favorite clips out.
Trust me. She's literally saying everything I've been trying to say.
Oh, we can end the clip there.
Yeah, because it's a relief. Like hearing this as a man and being like, all right, cool, so I'm not crazy. Right? Because of the fact that, like, you know, I say this to a lot of my female friends, and some of my male friends know this, because they're always just like, yeah, you know what, I'm like, you know, single, right? And they're like, hey, like, how do you cope with this and stuff like that, and and like, I always feel like I'm being crude in saying this, but I feel like she supports this. The majority of my female friends know how to respect who I am, and their genuine care and well-being for me is, well, is genuine. Like they're not here to be like, okay, you know what, I'm looking for a
I can attest to
rider,
that. That's true.
I'm looking for a driver, I'm looking for money. So it's just like, especially when you're hearing all this noise and like, again, like no homo, Anthony's a good looking guy. He's pretty much doing his thing, right? He has a podcast like me and Andrew. You know, he's probably got his swagger and his hustle on fleek, and he's well known. And if he's on a struggle bus with women, in the sense that they're sitting here and saying, hey, you know what? I have all these things to balance, yet she was still circumventing that, and it's transparent. It's like you can look at him and be like, yeah, he has his expenses, and I could still turn him off because he didn't want to do something. They see that as like almost like a personal attack, or like he doesn't value me because he's not willing to take me anywhere. That trickles down to the rest of the manosphere and saying, what are these women asking for if they're literally sitting there and
Yeah.
almost handicapping themselves because they're just like, yo, I'm just going after men spending money. Like, what happens
Mhm.
when men stop spending money?
Money, then what?
Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing, though. That's the precursor of what we're seeing in today's society. It's like that question of who is high value is now being defined. It's like being redefined. A lot of men now realize that. Guess what? My job is to make money throughout life. So I need to do more than just that to evolve myself as a man because society is asking me to. And I'm cool with that. Let's move forward. Let's get better as men. Let's move it forward. But now, because I'm willing to ask that question in one way, now I'm going to be willing to ask that question in reverse. I'm going to ask that question from my partner now. I'm going to be demanding those very same things of my partner. The same thing that she's asking me to do, I'm going to be asking her to do.
Well, that goes back to the infamous statement that a lot more men are asking, what do they bring to the table? And a lot of
Yeah.
women are tripping over that question. Like, I've watched a lot of shows where that's been asked. And
Same.
I've inadvertently
Oh, wait.
asked.
Favorite.
Actually, I want to speak on that.
Go ahead.
I
The floor
think-
is yours.
I feel like that sentence is the same thing as when women like are looking for the bag for men. I feel like it's the same thing. Because why say what do you bring to the table? That shouldn't matter. It should be the person's
it
character
does.
at the end of the day.
And
Here,
No,
I'll
it
add my
matters.
point.
No, it matters, but I'm talking about in a materialistic sense, it doesn't matter. Because that majority of men, that's the reason why they say that. It's because of materialistic things.
Well,
what do you bring to the table? Like, what's your finances?
yes and no. It does have a negative connotation. I'm going to challenge you on that because I asked that
Yeah.
question now. I
That's
do.
what I was gonna say.
Right?
No. I see it on both sides. Don't worry.
And the reason,
I agree.
yeah, and the reason why it's like I don't need to look into your bank account and stuff like that. I'm literally asking, what do you bring to the table? Because there's a saying that I heard a while ago, and it still has merit in regards to women, and it says, "Women are, men become." Right? And the thing is that based off of society, the majority of the women, like I can, you know, like not to out my little sister, but I can ask her this question, and it's like she is who she is. I love my sister and all that sort of stuff. She is who she is. And on a regular basis, it's rare that you have women with aspirations.
Yeah.
Like they're
That's
okay.
why we asked that question.
They're okay.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah, they're okay with saying, "Oh, I can take care of my own." I get that, right? Like when I'm driving down the street and I see a woman and she's waiting for a bus or she's hailing for a cab or blah blah blah. Obviously, you can take care of your own. You get where you need to go. You go to work. You go to sleep. You look good. You can participate in society. That's you just being.
But you just mean, do you have goals in life?
It's not even just that. I'll add to this if it's possible when Rohan's done it.
Like, just a concept. Like, if you have goals, great. If you're coming on board and saying, "Hey, no, I'm here to support you," how are you supporting me? Are you tolerating me, or are you like, I want to understand what you're doing. I want to be able to provide you with the kind of support I understand that you need. Because I'm not looking for someone to be like a subvert. Like, put it this way: if with my side hustle being a photographer, right? You know, next woman comes up and says, "Hey, you know what? I see you have good talent and stuff like that, and blah, 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 and I would love to see you become a photographer." Okay, interesting. You'd like to see me there. A lot of girls, that's their support. Oh, my hope and desire that you'll get there. Okay, great. Not saying bad to it, but can you not be like, you know, I see you struggling at your events. I'll give you a hand. Obviously, that's a bonus. Hey, you know what? Take a photo of me. Like, we go out somewhere and be like, you know, whether or not you're a top tier model or just a regular
adding to
average
the
looking
hustle,
girl,
I feel you.
like, hey babe, the sun's out. Let's take a photo of that. You go over there and pose. You're encouraging me to pursue the career. You're helping on
Exactly.
that. Hey,
All right.
babe, I did some research on
Contributing.
photography. I see that the way you do things, maybe we should try this. Maybe this is a good photographer. It's the build up. So all I'm saying is that yes, there men would love support, and whether or not you have your own dream. Like if you're saying here and saying, "Oh, I'm a photographer," and Lexi, you're like, "Oh, well, I want to become a writer." You have your own separate dreams. Maybe we can come together. But I find
Come
it
together.
interesting that you have your own thing. I'll support you in your writing. You support me in my photography. But there's a lot of women, for whatever reason, they're like, "Oh, well,
They
you
think
know,
a being is existing. They think that's
their
enough.
existence is just an existence." Like, I'd love to
Exactly.
I
have
know
kids
what you
one
mean.
day. I'd love
I'm
to
gonna
do this
add
one
this-
day. Da da da.
Yo.
But then when it's just like, but what drives you? What does this? Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
All
I
right,
love.
I'm gonna add this.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna add this to the situation and then recurve this. I'm only gonna bring this situation up because it's current. I use the exact situation of Gary Owen and his wife. Gary Owen
yeah.
is now being divorced from his wife.
Divorce.
And one of the things, the reason why I bring this up is because he once wore a short that said breadwinner on it, and his wife got pissed because they were going through the divorce, yada yada yada, and she wanted to say, "Oh, I aided you in your career. I stayed home with the kids, and I allowed you to go out on the road, and da 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 da, and I sacrificed my career by staying home with the family and all this stuff." And Gary's one and only question, and the reason why I bring this up is he says to her, he's like, "In what way did you truly have to sacrifice?" He's like, "Our entire relationship, you've had the ability to have somebody at the house take care of everything. You could have had your career." He's like, "At this point in time, you didn't you weren't helping me with my jokes. You weren't spotting buildings. You weren't out there actually making things happen. So to be honest, I would have gotten there with or without
you.
Our family dynamic is what you're responsible for. Like the growth of our kids, the dynamic of you, like that's all you. But you saying that you did something for my career and that's the reason why I was making money? How? How did you help in any way further my career?"
See, and this
because
is
you
the
kept
thing.
my kids as a distraction? Like,
And
that
this is
doesn't
the
make any sense.
and
I
this is the
actually
thing.
agree.
Yeah, and this is the thing for a lot of women. It's just like Andrew's my boy. We've gone through shit. We went to the same school. There's correlations. There's parallels, right? But I can say this in confidence right now. One of the aspects that makes Andrew my boy is the things he does. I don't just blanket him saying, "Oh, we kick it every now and again and we're tight." No, he's reliable. He supports. He does certain things, and he's my boy, right? You know,
for you.
exactly. And I have this from my female friends as well. So every time I'm in a situation where it's just like, "Well, what do you see in regards to it?" I firmly say, "Yo, with the friends and the people I have in it, like the woman needs to supersede these people, and these people are in my life."
Bro,
like,
pause. Just repeat that one, bro. Please repeat that one.
My partner needs to supersede these people, right? So you can't sit here and be like, "Oh, the value I bring to the table is I support you." I can call 5 women right now that
could
support me.
It's like, what can you do that makes you stand out from the people that's already in my life?
Right. Yeah. And if you're only relying on, hey, my box and that you can call me your girlfriend, hard pass. Hard fucking pass.
Like, you see what I'm saying? That's why men are reevaluating that now. Yeah. And that's exactly why you see these guys now asking these hard questions. And a lot of these girls don't have the answers.
As you guys should.
They don't have the answers. Like, I'm not saying that it's all women. A lot of women, like, all right, better yet, sorry. A lot of girls don't have those answers.
Yeah.
Because women have the answers. Women have been through life and they understand those same things. That's what graduated them into women, in my opinion. Is them allowing to be empathetic. Because
a man will invest in you, a man will stay with you as long as you're able to reinforce the value. And the point that I was trying to make is that as long as Andrew keeps reinforcing his value, it's not like he's doing it maliciously. He does it inadvertently, right? It's the way our relationship
has to make myself,
right. And I can sit here and say in confidence that he will remain my friend based off those principles. It's not just sitting here and saying, "Oh, it's a history," or I have a quota. I have to have X amount of black friends. I have to have X amount of white friends. Like, it's not that, right? I understand myself, all extra stuff, and it's the same way with my friends. Some people I kind of be like, are we really friends? Or are you taking advantage of certain things that I can do or things that I do for you?
For
Because
you.
then I have to question the
Bars.
love of our friendship, right? It's even how I
Mhm.
deal with business, right? Like, if I come to you and I do a photo shoot and I charge you $500, you're not just paying for the time, you're paying for the experience, you're paying
The
for my
experience.
ability, right? It's an investment on that aspect that I'm bringing to the table. So it's very frustrating for most of these people, going back to a question, especially with Anthony, and saying these are all things that, like, both parties do things to make who they are, right? The woman and the man, right? But
Mhm.
you're benefiting not only from my financial influence on this date, but all the things that I bring to the date and all the things that I'm bringing to the relationship. So at some point, it should come into question what the other party's doing as well. Yeah, I don't need you to pay, right? But I'd still want you to bring your A game. And if something comes
Not
up
even just
short,
that. I just want you to aid this.
well, that's what I
But
mean, right?
that's why they say relationships are a team. It's a team. You guys supposed to be building each other up,
Exactly.
not just being there as statues. Like, hey, I'm the girlfriend.
Right, because he's sitting there and being like, he's floored on the quick response to that girl and saying, no, you know what, we can't go. But I'd also be a little disappointed because that is a test. That's a testament in your ability to sit here and say, when I come up short, because my greatest fear in some aspect is that I will do everything and I can to take care of my woman. Proclamation on the internet, it's up there forever. But one of my
Mhm.
concerns is what would happen if something happens to me,
That's
right?
my biggest fear too.
And
Yeah.
it's not the fact that I'm sitting here and worrying about it. It's just that, like, it, if my girl has to step up, obviously I'm gonna do everything in my power to get back in the game, right?
Mhm.
That's like me talking in football. I got injured. I'd be on the bench and be like, "Coach, put me back in the game." He's just like, "But your arm's
You just fucked
bleeding." And
up
I'm
your
like,
leg,
"I
yeah.
don't care. Wrap it up. Let's go." That's how I think,
Hmm.
right? So my concern is how my woman would be in taking care of stuff. I don't want that. But if that situation does happen, I question: are you capable of doing that? Are you able? Are you willing? Because there's a great fear for a lot of men that if they can't keep up, the woman's just gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm out. I'm gonna
That's
take the
the
kids. I'm gonna take
ultimate
half the
fear
house.
for.
I'm out. I'm
Yep.
But
out.
that's
I'm
the
done."
thing. She should be able to fight with you. That's the thing. Not bail out when the thing gets tough.
Right. But if
But I
they're
think
doing
that
it so
Lex,
quick, they're doing it at the
Lex, I think
beginning.
that's the thing with why we're saying that we ask these questions now, because men now
Yeah.
are queuing on the point that it's the longevity. We don't want, okay,
Mhm.
if we're seeing these things and these traits from you this early, it's not going to go away. It's only going to get more
Get
bigger
more.
and more explosive. So for
Yeah.
us, when we see that red flag, we now know that is a giant red flag.
Right.
And
Exactly.
here's the thing. It's getting late, and I figured, well, we've spent a lot of time on this discussion. I guess everybody will talk. I'll make this my final point, and then let's see. I'll let you go. I look at this dynamic change as it's a good thing that we're starting to question these roles, and we're also starting to question these lines that have been laid in the sand for forever. I'd love to
Mhm.
see women actually pay for dates and understand. Because here's the thing for me, the reason why I'm okay with it. It allows you to understand or, in a way, to control the same things that I have to control. You can deal with
Mhm.
this nerve wrackingness of knowing how annoying it is to pick a restaurant for your ass because your ass don't know what you want. You can know how annoying it is to find something how to entertain your ass because you never want to do what I want to do. So it's like you can now deal with the same stresses I have to deal with when trying to plan a date. So I'm totally fine with that. You're sharing in on the load now. Like you're having to think for both of us, where I'm usually having to think for both of us. So I'm
Mhm.
totally good with that. I like that evolvement. What she said was pure truth.
Truth.
Everything that was
Yeah.
in everything that was in that clip was pure and unadulterated truth. And I hope to
Facts.
God that we all get there. We all get to that place. I know some people take a longer time. It's maybe a scale of maturity
A
on both sides.
majority.
No, but it's also on both sides. Men
Yeah.
mature slower than women, but here's the thing: women take that immaturity with them a lot longer.
Yeah. They do.
Like once they decided to be immature, they are never going back.
I'll be honest with you. The only reason why I'm already at that level of thinking is because I've been through so many experiences. It matters about your experiences, not really age. I would say it's experiences because I've been through so much where it's like now I understand the real meaning of love and what I should be looking for.
Yeah.
Like
No, you're right, Lex, because there's women in our age gap that
still don't understand.
Look at my eyes. Look at both of our eyes at the same time. Look at both of our eyes. Yo,
No,
Rohan,
like-
on the Zoom, when you do the edit, I
The
need
zoom.
you to do I need you to zoom in.
Like-
I need you to zoom in, my dog.
Andrew is killing me.
No.
No, it's true because like even on Instagram, I'm seeing girls still talking about the bag. I'm like,
but that's the thing, right? Like there's instant gratification and there's a reward system. So there's women out there sitting here and saying, what's the easiest way to success? Path of least resistance. The things that they can quantify. People aren't being conditioned to do the long term. And this is one of the things that I'm jealous of the older generation, because you could sit there, like
They
our
have
parents
staying
and great
power.
parents. Exactly. They'll be like, yo, he drives me crazy, but I love him.
Yeah.
Right? Women,
They knew to battle. They knew to go through that shit to actually earn that love.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and it's just like, there are some bad circumstances. Like if you're getting beat up, if you're being abused, get out of that relationship.
Get out.
But it's just like there's some people who are just dying on the wrong hills. They're just sitting here and investing in things, wasting time, ending relationships on the stupidest things.
Things.
We were discussing
what is the Prada bag gonna do for you, bro? Like at the end of the day, if you got no money to put in that Prada bag, what is the point of you looking for a high value man to put you that Prada bag?
Yeah.
Or the whole Birkin thing.
Yeah, the whole. No, I'm just saying, like all of these things, all of these high value targets. That like it's just a target. A lot of them are like, oh, he can't do this for me, this for me, this for me, negating the fact that in the end, if he grows with you and you groom him to be a high dollar man, he's gonna provide you that anyway.
Fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
But people are so superficial. They care about what you have now. They would rather you have everything now than grow with you and build an empire. Like it doesn't make any sense.
You can grow to lose it. That's the joke. If you have everything now, you can lose it easier. When you grow with it, there's no chance that's going nowhere.
Yeah, no,
that's why you got to build a foundation.
There's relationships where they don't put in work. Like a friend's cousin told me the story and how they got together, and they fought. Like not physically fought, like they went against the odds to get to different social classes. Like it was, I told them when they were done the story, it was like, you're like a modern day Romeo and Juliet. And they're like, no, it's not like that. I'm like, no,
beautiful shit.
That's
some beautiful shit, bro.
They had like the chick's mom was just like, he's not good enough for you. He's just like, I'm gonna marry her. Like this started in the island. She moved to Canada. He's just like, I'm going after her. He came here for her.
I rate that, fam. I rate that. Yo, he went and got his woman.
Right. So it was a beautiful story. And I'm like, yo, women don't even want to finish off like a couple of dates before they can't do it. Men's don't want.
I only got one I can compare it to.
Yeah, men's aren't putting in the rightness. They're just being sexist and chauvinistic and hyper expectation. Like, oh, I took you out to dinner. I did all this. I'm expecting putang and all that sort of stuff. It's just like, it's just been so corrupted where it's just like people can't function anymore. And like, as much as I want to sit here and say, I'm waiting for the woman that'll sit here and say, I love you, Rohan. The better statement I'd love to hear is, I got you. If I heard a girl tell me that, like look me in the eyes and be like, I got you.
I've said that to some people and like in my past, and that was not good enough for them. But of course I understand this because they were superficial. That's the thing.
Maturity.
Because I would say for me, as a woman, I've dealt with it with men, like where I would literally be that solid person that's like, yo, I got you, but they were acting just like some of the superficial women where it's like, they want you to be this now. They want you to have this now. They're not thinking, hey, let's build an empire. Let's grow together.
Yeah, but if
you're right.
It goes both ways. But like what you said, it's maturity, right?
Right. Because when you're established and you're in your person and you hear that, that's where it's real. Like when you're
Yeah.
younger and you're like, I love you, it's because
It's like,
you're taking on what that means,
That's just words. That's
right?
just words.
And it's just like,
just words.
yeah, exactly. It's just like, it's not that you're loving that person and all the things that's defining your relationship. It's just like, with love comes a whole bunch of things. When someone says I love you, it's like that
They love you
perception.
unconditionally.
No, but
Yup.
but it really is on conditions of what? Like, what has really tested us to be unconditional?
Mhm.
We haven't done anything.
We haven't been
We're
through
spending
shit yet
time
for
with
you to
each
tell
other.
me you love me. Yeah.
No, I mean, like, love is like you love the person for who they are. You don't want them to change. Like, there's too many people nowadays in the dating world where they want you to change. Like, oh, I want you to look like this, or I want you to. It's like you're supposed to love the person for who they are. That's the whole point of love, is loving the person for who they naturally are.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
And I just want to
go ahead.
Continue your point. No, I'm
No.
gonna ask. I'm gonna ask our audience something. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, people and subscribers to our show, we just want to know, what do you think about this topic? Is it to the point where relationships have eroded to the point where we no longer have these gender roles and women now can define these things by asking for dates? Or are we just barbaric, over intentional Neanderthal male, expecting and not evolving to the point where it is to a point where a woman can ask a man on a date? You let us know.
Yeah,
comment, subscribe.
Yeah, tell us if we're just being bitter.
For real. Like, here's the thing. As men, have we evolved to the point now where we are getting to the point where a lot of these things our roles are being redefined and they're being taken over? Are we just being bitter to the fact that we had the ball the whole time?
I could just imagine the comments. It's just like, Rohan, who hurt you?
No, I actually
a lot of them, damn it, a lot of them.
I actually see it from your guys' point of view, though, so I don't see it as bitter. I really don't. I see it from your guys' point of view.
No, there's men out there who truly want to love. They do.
Yeah.
They want to be like, yo, like, I just want to.
They want to be loved.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to stare at you, and not because of the fact that I feel like I own you or anything like that. Just be
It's
in
like
awe,
I would just really want love.
and just, like, when you do say I love you, it actually is defined by meaning, not just
matters.
Yeah, man, and just
that
being
inspiration's one of the most important things. It's like, I can love you, and I can want to hold you, and I can want to be with you. But if you inspire me to be a better man than I was yesterday, geez, that's the shit that you remember. The inspiration and love in a relationship is the only thing that guides us as men. Like 50 years down the line, we remember that little shit we were. And because of you, we're now the man we are now. That's the type of shit we remember from you.
And like I said,
it's not what you bought us or where you took us. It's that shit.
It's if you change them.
Yeah, it's that memories of you allowing me to abandon that old fuckhead of a self I used to be, and then growing me into the man that I am now, and the love and support that guided me to that. That's what keeps us up at night wanting to provide for you. That right there, the inspiration.
Yeah, because like there are men out there who will be like, yeah, I don't want to feel obligated to take a bullet for you. I want to be inspired or motivated to take a bullet for you. I don't want you to be like, why didn't you do this for me? And you're less of a man, da-da-da. No, it should be unconditional. And it's like, those things will come naturally when it comes to who the individual that you're dealing with. And if that focus was there, you'll get what you need.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I love y'all. And until next time,
we out.